Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Performance E-Streaming. It is Sunday night, and that means one thing. It is time for the My Private Cellar's Australasian Supercar eSeries, and you are not looking at the wrong screen. We are not at the wrong track. You are not going mad. No, we are at Phillip Island tonight. Yes, the V8s are coming home tonight for the Australasian Supercar eSeries. It is not an oval. It is a proper road course. I am, as ever, Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you. Joining me up here in the booth, I have Mr. Mark Jansen. Mark, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to see these things back on their natural habitat and in their natural habitat. We've a track that has 12 turns in it tonight. So we do apologise up front if we get the corners wrong.
Absolutely. Look, it is tradition to do that. So we'll see how many we have to get wrong and how many dollars we have to put in the wrong corner jar. We're also joined, of course, by Mr. Matt Hunter doing all the hard work in the background. Matt, how you going, mate?
Yeah, going good. A bit nervous for this one. We've done road courses before in the NASCAR style cars, but not in the that supercars. But yeah, so it's something a bit different for us. So it's a little bit nervous.
Absolutely, it's a very different style of racing on the road courses or the street courses, on the circuit courses. And well, Phillip Island, it's a natural habitat, as we were just saying before, natural habitat for these cars. It's where they are designed to work their best. The Holdens and Fords will be battling hard tonight, and well, we've got to put on the good show for the Aussies in the audience as well. We're just off the coast of Victoria, down in Phillip Island, just outside of name of the place has absolutely gotten away from me there. The little town that is close to Phillip Island, I'm sure it will come back to me. Ventor, that's the one. As I quickly scour around my screen for all the notes. But it's going to be a very different style of race. And this is going to be a really strong one for those guys that are good in these cars on the road courses. And one of those people is Craig Roffey taking out pole. Tom Pritchard on his outside. Both of them setting a really good lap time, taking out row one. Aidan Schultz and Darren McKenzie make up our row two tonight. It's Andy Barber and Justin Whitcher on the third row. Shane Roffey is back with us tonight, and Gary Wellman on row number 4. Row number 5 sees Adam Malone and Cade Donnelly. Row 6, Greg Spencer with Troy Davidson. On 7th row, it's Aaron Dillon and Shane Newens. On the 8th row tonight, Todd Maxfield with Dwayne Preece. Row number 9 sees Joshua Maynard with Peter Madsen. Row number 10 has Kim Roffey and Chris Finley lining up next to each other. Jamie Budd, Nigel Patton make up row 11. And Brian Blundell did not set a time, but will be hopefully starting down in 23rd spot. 23 cars out here tonight. Plenty of stuff to keep an eye on, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Just some news. The B pillar rule is back in force, being on down here at Phillip Island. So what that means is the cars, if they're going to make a pass, they have to be at that B pillar before the class as a pass. Also, no black flags cleared tonight. If you misbehave, you're going to cop it, and you're going to cop a drive-through probably. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Will do indeed. Just glancing at the championship quickly before we get underway. Gary Wellman up in the lead at the moment. Consistency has been key for him so far this season. He's up just ahead of Justin Whitcher in second, who has 63 points. Gary Wellman on 70. 62 points is Chris Finley in third. Andy Barber in fourth with 60 points. Joint position with Todd Maxfield. Interestingly, as we get underway, of course, and a bit of a slow start for Aidan Schultz, and we get underway very quickly. Somebody going backwards already, and it's Shane Roffey.
Yeah, there was big accident there off the start. Some people just got a heap of wheel spin and absolutely went nowhere.
Must admit, getting caught out there. I'm so used to a formation lap. It absolutely caught me off guard there. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but we are going green. 40 minutes tonight in the race. Craig Roffey gets well nicely, so has Darren McKenzie. Aidan Schultz got caught in the back, has dropped him right down the back. He was one of those cars that had wheel spin, and it has churned up the field a fair bit. Big moves early on Good start for Shane Newens. He's up 4 spots, up in 10th position. But you can see the field spreading out as they come around the corners and make their way through the circuit. And they are racing hard already.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I've just got to adjust my volume. That's better. Yeah, it's definitely a place that you definitely don't want to misbehave as they come over Lukey Heights down in the MG. So keep an eye on those 2 Southern Stars guys there, sitting in 2nd and 3rd, Darren McKenzie and Tom Pritchard. They are not a bad circuit track racer, and they've done plenty of laps around here as they come back out of turn 12 on the Garden Straight.
Absolutely, and we'll talk around the circuit in a little bit as cars start to settle down. We can see them all starting to fall into single file now as they come down. A couple of passing opportunities. Aidan Schultz there getting past Shane Newens, battling it out, and they are starting to fight. Good opportunities to pass as you get down towards turn number 1 in through that big long sweep of turn 2 as well. It's one of the better overtaking spots, of course, one of the bigger braking zones, as we see Gary Wellman there battling it out with Andy Barber, and Andy Barber making a nice move down the inside, getting past Gary Wellman in a very slick move there.
Yeah, down into Honda there. If you're brave, you can get that inside run, but it takes a lot of brake pressure to pull that up, and you're always in the chance of locking those front brakes and sliding straight ahead into the car that's you're trying to do the undercut on.
Yeah, of course, it's very easy to snap right in the early stages of a race. Really getting up to temperature and starting to move forward. Nice to see a fairly big complement of Holdens out there tonight, Mark.
Yeah, it's not a one-maker race tonight, really. With a few Commodores out there and putting on a good show. Although we do have one of those funny horses out front at the moment with Craig Roffey.
Yeah, he's looking good for the Mustangs at the moment as Roffey comes down the hill and works his way through turn 1, through Dewan corner, up to the southern loop of number 2, and the rest of the field snake through as, who was that going off in the background? It was one of the Southern Stars, I think, and it was Adam Malone having a big moment and rejoining the track. Big moment there. I think I couldn't see who that was in the black, yellow and green car. It's very, very close to an accident there.
Joshua Maynard, mate.
In the 161, yeah, Josh Maynard did a good job of avoiding.
Oh, we can see. Ooh. You see there, Carl, what I mean by if you can be very brave coming down that inside, but if you get it wrong, there is big consequences. As you can see there, just warming up those rear tyres a little bit.
Yeah, Kim Roffey there just having a big moment. And look, that's the thing in a place like this, Mark, as well, it does get the tyres fairly warm. There's a lot of fast corners here. And the tyres, they're really good for a lap or two, and then all of a sudden they just snap and drop off.
Yeah, definitely. Look, the tyres will really drop off after about 5 laps around here. Unlimited tyres tonight, so if they come into pit lanes, I expect a set of tyres to be thrown at them here. It's not a high deg tyre track, but there is the heat, as you were saying, Carl, because you've got those lateral movements side to side and the heavy braking, and people just don't realise how much heat comes out of those brakes into the tyres, as we see them 3 wide here into Dewan corner, heading for the southern loop.
And Malone gets a little bit of contact there, but they make it through. And they are battling hard at the moment. Josh Maynard having a really good run. We've lost the 0-1-3 of Aaron Dillon. He's had a big moment down towards turn 4, Miller corner, and he's just had a bit of a moment on the exit, lit it up and had a heavy impact into the barriers. And it looks like that car is done for the night. Craig Roffey's still out in the lead, but this battle is where we're keeping our eyes at the moment. Adam Malone really fighting it out, had a bit of a mistake, but he's trying to work his way back up through the field. Shane Newens as well, he dropped down a few positions after having a bit of a moment as well. A couple of people just having those early mistakes, and it's really cost them so far.
Yeah, just pinching a brake and just enough to turn people around, and it's a shame. But back up front, mate, we got Craig Roffey out to a 1.8 second gap. Actually, as it's just talk, it's just clocked over to a 2 second gap. The two Southern Stars boys, Darren McKenzie and Tom Pritchard in second and third, and it's good to see the Justin Whitcher up there in the Whitcher electrical car in fourth, and another Southern Stars Andy Barber there in fifth. So pretty good there at the moment for the Southern Stars, as we see one of the guys there, Pinnacle, I think that's Greg Spencer, missing the rear wing of his Mustang.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that one. So he had a bit of a moment a couple of laps ago with Aidan Schultz, I think, just getting behind him. I think Greg might have just snatched the brakes and just put the power down a little bit too early. There was no contact between the two cars, but just in front of recovering Aidan Schultz, 29 spun around and went heavily into the barriers, and that has peeled off that rear wing. And, you know, on the ovals, you kind of get away with it, but on a track like this, losing that rear downforce is going to really, really hamper you.
Yeah, it'll really hamper you, like as where he's coming up to Lukey Heights down at MG. He's got to be so careful with the brake application, because it will spin him if he's not too careful. It does a nice job there through MG, and we can see the background then. One of the cars coming over Lukey Heights and getting it out in the dirt.
Well, I mean, you know, it's a classic style of the track, Phillip Island, of course, back in the early days, back in the 30s, when it wasn't quite this track, but they used to race around Phillip Island. There was a fair bit of loose dirt roads involved in that style of racing. And then, of course, when it moved to this track, they went for the closed tarmac, which I think is a much better option. As you know, Matsson's just had a big moment as well, managed to save it, but a couple of big moments for these guys. They're still just struggling that little bit, just having the odd moment here and there. It's these little mistakes that are costing them. And as we've seen Dwayne Priest there as well, just having a little bit of a moment, losing positions, and it's so quick to have. Oh, that's a big off. Does he save it from the barriers? Just about, and you can see Adam Malone in the foreground making contact with Matsson. It's all happening.
Yeah, that was at Honda, I think, I do believe.
Let's see the replay here, and it's sort of just gone off across the grass. You can see Dwayne Priest having his moment, and then Adam Malone just doesn't get on the brakes, goes down, rear just gets loose, and then goes across the grass. And Peter Matsson, just absolutely the unfortunate position to be in, a civilian in that respect, just absolutely nowhere to go, and just had the car go into the side of him.
Yeah, and we see someone in the pit lane there. I'd say it was Peter coming to get some repairs done in a fresh set of rubber.
Yeah, coming in for some repairs. You can see Aaron Dillon still in the pit lane getting some big repairs done at the moment. And I think that's going to be the story for some of the cars out there, because they have got some damage. Greg Spencer doing a great job of keeping that car on track at the moment with the, it's the Streamliner version of the Ford Mustang. But doing a great job of keeping the car on track, trying to chase down Joshua Maynard. Up front, Craig Roffey is almost at a 3-second lead, and this is the natural hunting ground for somebody like Craig Roffey.
Yeah, he's very well adverse to the road courses, and I believe he does do a V8 Supercar League, but I'm just not sure where. But he's definitely got the car, that Mustang, by the scruff of the neck, and is really driving away with this race at the moment.
That's it, Craig. Not exactly slow on the ovals as well. He's got many wins under his belt, but on a track like this, he can really make it work. But he's still sort of, he's not gilding as much gap over Darren McKenzie, who's starting to close it a little bit now. Last time round, McKenzie, Pritchard, they were all faster than Craig Roffey, and they're closing the gap a little bit. So the race is still very much on, and I wonder if a few drivers out there have just been taking it easy in the early stages just to keep their tyres a little bit more alive for this part of the race. As we see Justin Whitcher having a battle there with Andy Barber right behind him. Andy Barber setting some good lap times. You can keep an eye out for Aidan Schultz as well, closing that gap in the Golden Octopus car. Had a really bad start, but is now working his way back up through the pack. He's trying to close in on this battle, and you'll be delighted to see this fight going on, because it is going to slow those two cars down.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who gets the better one here over Lukey Heights and down in the MG. At the moment, which has definitely got the power over Barber, but as we can see, Barber's very good in the turns. Not close enough this time to make a lunge at MG. So they short shift here, back out until they get up here, get through this turn, and then they will pull it up a gear, and then they'll run out here, and by the time they get halfway down the straight, they'll be back in the sixth gear, flat out.
It's one of the rare road courses, Mark, where you know more than me.
I've done a few laps around here, mate, chasing the fields with the fire and rescue. So, yeah, probably the only other track I know more than you is my local at Winton.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I must admit, it is one of the blind spots of racing for me, unfortunately. Although I've lived in Australia for almost 20 odd years, I still just have those. I still struggle with some of the local tracks here, just from my not growing up completely. So I blame that.
It's all good, mate. We're all a team here, and I just congratulate Matt. He's been able to keep up with the cameras because there is a lot of camera here, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's about 30 cameras that Matt has to remember on what part of the track they're for. So he's doing a fantastic job. One of the rare times that he really probably works harder than us, Carl.
Absolutely, it's a time where I really do not want to swap, and I am very much glad to just be talking about this race. We saw a good battle going on between Justin Whitcher and Andy Barber, and Justin Whitcher managed to defend that spot, but look at how much Aidan Schultz has closed in on that battle. Jamie Budd in pit lane after making a mistake. Jamie Budd having a big moment. Saw him off track a little bit a couple of moments ago, and I think he might be pulling it into the box to retire it, unfortunately. So that might be his night over and done as well. We've lost Peter Matson, Aaron Dillon, and Jamie Budd so far from this race.
Yeah, we should start to see guys in pit lane because there's only roughly about between 15 and 16 laps on fuel in these cars around here. So don't be surprised if we start to see guys coming in, throwing another set of tyres on and some fuel too, Carl.
Yeah, it might be worth for that slightly early stop, but if you can take it out, if you can make it to the 20-minute mark and make it a single stop, you will be in a really good position, but it's easier said than done. As we see Greg Spencer doing a nice move there on Chris Finlay, getting the job done. Finlay just running a little bit wide, has to recover that Simboys car back out on track, and it's not been the night so far for Chris. He's dropped down a couple of positions. We'll hope that he can get back in it later on. Meanwhile, the battle between Barber and Whitcher is back on, and they are fighting hard and really getting racy. Plenty of action on track, which is what we love to see, and Barber's decided to pull it into pit lane. First of the cars to come into pit lane for the fuel stop and tyres, of course. So it's the number 5 of Andy Barber, the Southern Stars entry, coming into the lane, and the first car to make the pit stop.
And we're still back up the front. We've still got Craig Roffey with just over a 3-second gap. So that gap's now stabilised over Darren McKenzie. But Tom Pritchard is still sitting right on the rear end of Darren McKenzie in third place. And Justin Whitcher is closing back in ever so slightly. He's just been able to pull just that fraction of a gap over Aidan Schultz. And I can just see there that Darren lit the rear wheels up there out of Honda. So those rear tyres might be starting to go off of just that fraction.
Yeah, the rear tyres take so much punishment in these cars. They're not exactly light vehicles, and the braking, the acceleration, and the turning, of course, they all put extra wear into those rear tyres. Of course, rear-wheel driven cars with 650 odd horsepower going through the rear axle, and that will chew up tyres very, very quickly if you start spinning them up. You've got to be so gentle on that throttle application. It is all important.
Mackenzie's in.
Mackenzie coming in, and who else will come in this time around, I wonder?
Well, I would have thought Tom Pritchard would have followed his teammate in, but he's stayed out there. So
Whitcher, Wellman, they've come in as well. So yeah, Pritchard's obviously just done a little bit of saving, as Greg Spencer has a big moment going off and just saving the car, the 29, having a eventful night tonight as he's just recovering back out on track. And look, if he can get down the pit lane and get that rear wing reattached, that will be a big moment for Greg, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like he's looped it in Siberia.
Yeah, that will give you a chilly feeling for sure. And look at that, it's just gone wide, just got offline, and you start to get all the marbles sitting out there, and so close.
Oh, Adam Malone's just clipped him.
Yeah, I think Malone's got some damage on the left front from that one, and hopefully it's not too major, but that was a big, scary moment for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see there, Malone's definitely had some nice little rubbing down that left side of the car. Craig Rocky, the race leader, is in pit lane now.
As we see, who is that? Nguyen's there having a moment. Shane Nguyen's just getting wide, and that's a shame. Shane Nguyen was having a good run up in front of some of those guys, and has lost a lot of time from that one. But as Mark said, Craig Roffey, Tom Pritchard, Aidan Schultz, Kate Donnelly, Troy Davidson into the lane. They've extended as much as they can. Can anyone go any further? If they can, they're setting themselves up to do one less pit stop, and that could be crucial in the race. But I don't think many are going to be able to do that. Maybe Chris Finlay. Looks like Finlay's going to try it. So Chris Finlay sticks it out there for one more lap. So he's going to try a 13-lap stint here. That could be a crucial thing for this race. As Darren McKenzie's going off in the 0-2, trying to chase them down. He has had a big moment sliding across the grass there, and he's just managed to save it. Luckily, the runoffs here, you do have a little bit of wiggle room, and Darren got very lucky to avoid any of the errant tyre barriers and marshal posts. He goes across the grass and just about saves it, going down towards turn 1.
Just cold tyres caught him out going into Doolan Corner. So he takes a shortcut through to the middle of the southern loop. Tell you what, Carl, he's lucky he didn't come to the left of that, or to our right of that tyre barrier, because that there's a big table drain there, and then he would have definitely lost the front splitter and everything off that car.
Yeah, you have to be careful of weird things out in big grassy runoffs areas, because they tend to lurk out there, and look, gravel traps as well. They can be very painful. So that's cost Mackenzie a fair bit of time. Finlay in the lane now. Finlay doing a great job of extending his stint there, and that could be crucial later in the race, and that could be the thing that just helps Finlay get a decent finish today. Maybe a little bit less stationary time in the lane. maybe even one less stop. That could be a big factor in this race. But it's Craig Rothie in the lead, 3 seconds ahead of Andy Barber, Justin Whitcher, Tom Pritchard, Aidan Schultz. That's our top 5. Darren McKenzie sits in 6th with Gary Wellman, Cade Donnelly, Troy Davidson, and Todd Maxfield. That's our top 10 at the moment here at Phillip Island. It is, of course, round number 3 of season 7 of the My Private Cellar Australasian Supercar eSeries here on Performance eStreaming.
Now, just going back to the weather, they'll have a nose wind because the wind's coming from the west down Gardner Strait. So when they're coming back into Honda Corner, it will make the rear end real light if it gets gusty, as we see the car in the Honda there. And we see still guys coming off the track, just not getting a handle on these cold tyres, Carl. Some of them, most of them have only done a couple of laps in this stint with these tyres, so they're still getting up to temperature.
Now look, it's always the thing we say, cold tyres are a tricky thing to get used to, as we see Adam Malone's night. It's not going well for Adam Malone. It's just been a bit of a horror show. And again, just a little moment there for Malone, and he's just going to be kicking himself at the moment. Jump up to Justin Whitcher and Tom Pritchard. They're racing hard at the moment, side by side, as Tom Pritchard makes the move, gets past Whitcher, and they are battling it hard at the moment, really fighting with each other. Whitcher not wanting to let that position go. Pritchard going, look, I've taken it now. It's my spot. A great overtake from Tom Pritchard, moving himself up into 3rd.
Yeah, don't be surprised we see Whitcher trying. No, he's not close enough. We get a bit of wiggle into Honda off Whitcher. So the other place that he'll look at is over Lukey Heights, see if he can get close enough. Get a good run up through Siberia, turn 7 into the hay shed. As we go through Siberia there. Around turn 7 into the hay shed. But Andy's been able to pull away, so he's going to have the better run up over Lukey Heights into the MG. Hard on the brakes. Whitcher tries to dive down the inside there at MG, but Pritchard moves to the right just to cover him off. Now the other next turn is if he can get a good run out of turn 12 down Gardner Straight, he may look at into Doohan Corner, but it's not close enough, Carl.
Yeah, Pritchard's done a great job of defending and extending that gap. Meanwhile, the man that's getting a little bit ignored at the moment, Craig Rothie, the leader, he has just set the fastest lap of the race, 29.430. Absolutely flying out there. And as he flies, Darren McKenzie is pulled it back into the pit lane, as Darren coming in for a quick splash and dash here to get him to the end. We said that some of these guys would be marginal, and Darren McKenzie was the first car to pit last time round. We saw him having that big runoff as well, so maybe he's going to just swap the tyres as well, because he may have done a little bit of damage to those with a bit of a lockup. He's coming in the lane again, and this will get him to the end. But this could be it could be a tough night for Darren McKenzie now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard night, because he's dropped down to 11th place now, so he's going to have big asks of those tyres to try and close up. But the one person we haven't spoken about, and I'm not going to say his name, I'm not going to jinx him, is the 45 car. He is now up into 6th place, closing in on Aidan Schultz. So we'll see if he can pull off one of his miracle wins here on a road course.
Yeah, it will be a very big moment if he can get that one done. But it's been a thing, Gary Wellman's not had the wins so far this season, but he has just been super consistent, as Kim Rothie has a bit of a moment and has lost a few positions in the 099, but Gary Wellman has been super consistent this season, and that's meant he is leading the championship. So, it's not been the wins so far, and it's sort of interesting looking at the championship. Both winners so far, they're not sitting too high up in the standings. It's been sort of a rough season. If you win, you seem to have a really bad couple of races for the next few.
Yeah, well, we've seen some bad races through the week. Big turnaround in the Ans car race on Thursday night. and it looks like we may get some upsets here, some surprise place getters, because it's definitely Craig Roffey's race to lose tonight. We've now a 5.1 second gap over Andy Barber.
Absolutely. With about 9 laps left, we're about 14 minutes left in this race tonight. We hope you've been enjoying this one. Something a bit different for the Australasian Supercar eSeries, of course, on a traditional circuit in traditional cars in a native environment here at Phillip Island with the V8 Supercars. Very, very different style of racing, but it has brought us some really good racing out there tonight as well, which is what we like to see. We're looking at the 41 at Cade Donnelly right here. A couple of green cars out there tonight. I was just having a look at Cade Donnelly. He's racing in a Commodore tonight, which is a bit unusual, and just trying something a little bit different for the Sim Boys team. So it's strange to see him out of his traditional blue. Meanwhile, Gary Wellman is battling it out. So this is really, really hard stuff as Cade Donnelly makes the move down the inside and gets the pass done, moving himself up into 6th position. And that's going to be a crucial move in the races. And we'll see how that one shakes out as well. And as I said, it's strange to see Cade in a Commodore in the series.
Yeah, that's why I haven't really paid much attention, because he's definitely not in his normal car. But those Sim Boys,
it's a big lock-up, but he manages just to hold it there, that they're going to be racing now.
Into Siberia there. He's got a great drive out of Siberia.
Gotta say, Cade's looking very quick tonight, and it's probably the quickest Sim Boy at the moment on this track. But Wellman and Davidson are not far behind. They are racing hard. But that's something you always got to expect from Sim Boys, is they will race each other as hard as possible. They are all about the racing on track.
And they seem to keep growing every week. Every week there seems to be someone new there.
As I say, like hydras, you cut one head off and 2 more grow back in their place. So we will keep our eyes on the track, see who's going to come down the lane. I mean, obviously, if you can't make it on fuel, you're going to have to come down the lane, aren't you? As we see Kim Roffey and Greg Spencer battling it out. Greg Spencer finally got a rear wing on that car again, and that's going to be so nice to have some rear downforce back on that Mustang.
I tell you what, he was lucky to get away with that, with dropping those 2 left wheels into that, just onto the grass there. That could have gone all wrong for him at the back of the circuit. But he's coming back down now, down Gardner Straight. Got a great run off turn 12, and pulled a little bit of a breathing room, but there's no real breathing room here, because if you blink, you'll find a car up the inside of you, and you'll have to go defensive.
Absolutely. It is. There is not much gap out there at all. One mistake, it's going to see you dropping back a position at the moment. And I also got a report, sadly, Darren McKenzie, it looks like he has had some connectivity issues, and he might be out of this race. A real shame, because I was interested to see how he'd come back after that pit stop, and if his race was completely over or not. And that's another bit of a curse so far this season for the prior winners. It's been a really hard couple of races for Darren McKenzie.
Yeah, definitely. I was just watching there. I think Greg's a little bit worried about Kim, because coming down in the Honda, he definitely blocked that inside lane to keep him behind him. So I think Greg may be a little bit nervous there with Roffey behind him. You can see that. Sorry, Carl. I was going to say, you can see there in the MG, Roffey's taking that outside line, the preferred racing line, and Greg is just half a car width inside that preferred line. So just to try and stop that dive. But he can breathe a little bit easier now, because Roffey's now in the pit lane.
Yeah, we saw Troy Davison coming in to the lane. and a couple of people coming down the lane. So we're starting to see those second pit stops starting to creep in. And I think one of the main ones to keep an eye out for is going to be Chris Finlay. Can he make it to the end? He's the only one that sort of extended that stint. So he could be in a really good position, Chris Finlay, to actually get some positions by just taking the one stop. A lot of hard work to do it. Craig Roffey into the lane. Our leaders come in now. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody can make it on a single stop. It's going to be a tough call, you got to say.
Yeah, definitely a tough call. But if Chris can, that will definitely put him up into the top 10. He's just sitting out the top 10 at the moment in 12th place. So be interesting to see if his gamble will pay off, or if he'll run short and not make it back to pit lane if he doesn't keep an eye on the out fuel.
There's a few things you can do for the fuel saving, but it's such a it's one of those tracks that makes it tricky. You can't really clutch it too much. There's lots of acceleration zones, so there's not much you can do in the way of fuel saving that you used to. We've got a good battle going on between Whitcher and Schultz right now. Aidan Schultz having a great recovery after that. You've got to say, a bit of a moment at the start, having that wheel spin and getting collected from behind. He's had a good recovery through this race in the Golden Octopus car, getting up right behind the number 12, the Whitcher Electrix Pinnacle Racing entry of Justin Whitcher. Of course, a big thank you to all the series sponsor, Whitcher Electrix, of course, RKJ Web Services, United Electrical Solutions, Hot Toddy Heating Installations, and of course, the title sponsor is Aidan Schultz. Just saved that. How did he save that? He was absolutely sideways through the corner. Justin Whitcher pulling it into the lane, but Aidan Schultz just saved that in the nick of time. Big thank you, of course, to my Private Cellar, of course, the title sponsor of their series, and of course, keeping our wine in good storage solutions through the year. But we've got some good solutions out on track at the moment. Some people trying some very different strategies, you've got to say. Whitcher in the lane with Andy Barber. How are they going to come out? Is anybody going to short fuel it? Anybody going to try and do a quick splash and dash? Anybody going to try not taking tyres or taking tyres? There's so many different options to come in this last 7 minutes of racing here.
And we do apologise. We can't really tell who's taken fuel or tyres and fuel, or just tyres, because they always go up on the jacks. A little bit different to the NASCAR, where if you don't take tyres, you don't need your jackmen out there.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we do not have any fancy apps that let us know what's going on, of course. So we can never tell who's taken what, who's taken tyres, which tyres, and what tyres. So it does make it a little bit tricky up in the broadcast booth sometime. Tom Pritchard at the moment, he has led a lap. He'll get himself a bonus point for that and get himself out in the lead at the moment. But I suspect he's going to come down the lane in the very, very near future. He takes it out for another lap here. So he's going to go for a little bit longer. And I wonder how much longer he can take it. Of course, the longer you can take it, the less time you're going to be stationary. So that could be a crucial thing. So there's so many little things you can do to find yourself up there. Kay Donnelly at the moment having a battle with Andy Barber out on track. Side by side, the two cars go. Kay Donnelly really defending hard at the moment. His car's not made a stop at the moment. Andy Barber has. And with him being sort of caught up a little bit behind Cade, it's helping Schultz close that gap as well. So that's another thing you've got to keep an eye out for, as well as people out of position but still racing hard. Are they going to try and take it to the end? If they can, they are sitting themselves in a very prime position.
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to the fuel save, or go on, sorry.
Aidan Schultz has had a moment going past Brian Blundell, just going to the corner. They go a little bit tight in the corner, and Aidan Schultz just locks up the tyres. And I think he sort of caught Blundell just having a little squiggle on the outside, and it just spooked him enough to cause him to have a moment as well. So just one of those moments in racing where you just get a little bit spooked by the car beside you, and it catches you out. Yeah,
definitely. I was just going to say, the only real way to save some fuel around here is probably short shift the car, so you're not using the full throttle every gear change.
yeah, that would be the best option for fuel saving, and just trying to not rev it too high, just keeping it smooth, not pressing the throttle too hard. There's little things you can do to help extend it, but we're looking at maybe 2 laps of extension here, and that's a hard thing to do at Phillip Island.
Yeah, definitely, and especially as I said, right at the moment at the start of the race, they had a headwind down the main straight, so it's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, of course, that's something else that will hurt the fuel mileage, as Justin Whitcher here looking to make the move on Andy Barber, racing for position. Both of these cars have been down the lane, and they make the move. Justin Whitcher, beautiful pass there down into Dewan, up towards the Southern Loop now. Very nice racing out there.
Yeah, it's been some great moves, some great lunges, and then there's been some unlucky guys that have just locked that brake up, and we've seen them head into the grass, especially into Honda tonight.
Yeah, it's a very easy track to sort of to struggle on as well, because of the undulation here, Mark, as well. That's another thing that we, you don't really talk too much about on tracks, but the hills make it so difficult. There's so many downhill braking zones here. There's the odd uphill braking zone, which sort of can help a little bit, but the downhill ones and the sort of slightly off camber corners, they can really catch you out.
Yeah, well, the worst one here for uphill and off camber is Lukey Heights. You've got to get that braking system right over Lukey Heights to set yourself up to apply big brake pressure down into MG.
Yeah, it makes it so easy to make a mistake. Aidan Schultz down in the lane now after taking the lead, and he is going to come in the lane for his stop. Craig Roffey taking back the lead of the race. Currently the fastest man out on track as well, Craig Roffey. He's still got the fastest lap as well, 29.251. Absolutely blitzing it out there, and it's been a night for the Road Sim Sports driver. It's been very quiet for him. He's had a bit of a lonely race, you've got to say.
Yeah, he hasn't been really challenged at all. You can see now he's coming up on the Greg Spencer, put him a lap down. Yeah, very quiet. He's just been methodical in gear changes, very smooth. So it's going to be a great result for Craig if he can hold on to it. He's got a 10-second lead over Tom Pritchard at the moment. So as I said earlier, it's going to be his to throw away.
That's it. It would be a good couple of rounds for Craig Roffey as well. Of course, having some good results recently, coming home second last time out, I think it was, or I'm trying to think. But he's had only done the 1 races so far this season, but they're having some good runs here. That's going to really help jump up in the championship standings. As we're saying, the sort of winning drivers so far, Darren McKenzie's had a really bad couple of races, unfortunately, and gotta say, again, just bad luck coming to Darren McKenzie's way, and that's a real shame for him. Aidan Schultz out in 5th position, just ahead of Gary Wellman and Troy Davidson, as well. We are in to our last minute of racing, and we are very quickly coming towards the end of tonight's action.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different one. A nice quick race. We can raid that fridge in the back corner there, Carl, and help ourselves to some wine supplied by our Private Cellars.
Yeah, that's it. Have a nice early night with a quick sip of wine, and make sure to catch the Grand Prix as well, which is even better for me. Chris Finlay could not take it that extra lap, unfortunately. He's had to fit at the last moment. Did take it 12 laps. So a really strong showing from Chris Finlay. He was the most frugal car out there, but unfortunately had to dart it into pit lane. The one good thing, though, it will be a fairly quick stop, and he's still going to make up some good positions. So some semblance of good news there for Chris, but not the night he will have wanted. But the night that this man will have loved is Craig Roffey, as he is coming around to take the checkered flag here and take victory here at Phillip Island for round 3 of the championship. And Craig Roffey takes victory here tonight. It's going to be Tom Pritchard who's going to be the man coming home in second. A very strong night from the 91. And Justin Whitcher brings it home. 3 different teams in the top 3 there with Rogue Sim Sports, Southern Stars and Pinnacle there. Andy Barber brings it home in 4th for Southern Stars. Aidan Schultz comes home in 5th for the Golden Octopus team. Gary Wellman, Troy Davidson are the highest Sim boys, and they cross the line in 6th and 7th. Kate Donnelly is looking to come home in 8th position, not too much further for the 41 to cross the line and make it home in 8th position. Shane Rothy is going to be bringing home the orange Rogue Sim Sports car and having a solid night. It's not often we see Shane on track, so he's going to be really, really happy with a top 10 finish here tonight in 9th position. Shane Newens had a bit of a moment earlier on, but brings the 8-10 home in 10th position here at Phillip Island. Greg Spencer comes home 11th, and Todd Maxfield will come home 12th. A really solid run, you've got to say, from Craig Rothey tonight. He was probably the man to beat here tonight on this road course, Mark.
Yeah, definitely mistake-free, really, all races are. And a great thing to see a green car with a win again. Because I know that some people in racing don't like green. me for one.
It needs green and purple. That's what we need. Some nice purple rims on it, maybe. So just really make it stand out. A really good result. Some big movers through the field as well. Biggest mover and shaker through the race was Kim Rothy, Chris Finley, Nigel Patton up 6 positions. All 3 of them up 6 positions. A really, really strong thing to do in a 40-minute race here at Phillip Island. It's not the easiest thing to do to get past these cars, but they did fantastic work making themselves up those spots, as Craig Rothy is going to burn it down, light up those rear tyres and use up every last inch of that rubber in celebration.
Yeah, definitely some nice licorice stripes there. Get back on the asphalt, mate. It works better. There we go.
Yeah, grassy donuts are not everybody's favourite. They can be a little bit less tasty than the asphalt ones. Let's run through the finishing order once more, and it is Craig Rothy taking the win. Tom Pritchard comes home 2nd, Justin Whitcher in 3rd, Andy Barber 4th, Aidan Schultz in 5th, Gary Wellman 6th, 7th for Troy Davidson, Kate Donnelly comes home 8th, Shane Rothy comes home 9th, and 10th for Shane Newen. You roll over the pages, Greg Spencer in 11th, Todd Maxfield 12th, 13th for Kim Rothy, Chris Finlay in 14th position, Adam Malone in 15th, Nigel Patton 16th, 17th for Josh Maynard, 18th for Brian Blundell, Darren McKenzie out with internet issues, unfortunately, Dwayne Priest 20th, Jamie Budd, Peter Matson and Aaron Dillon did not make it to the line, unfortunately, out early doors.
Oh, and there goes the motor.
It's a nice thing about sim racing is you can blow the motor without having a huge cost afterwards.
Yeah, that's it.
Okie dokie. Well, let us start off with some interviews tonight, and we're going to start them off with the Pinnacle eSports car of the 3rd place finisher. It is Mr. Justin Whitcher in the number 12. Justin, welcome back to the booth, mate. Congratulations on a podium here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, cheers, boys. How are we?
A little bit different after that one. I mean, it's a bit odd turning left and right on a track in the series on a Sunday night. Did that throw you off too much?
A little bit, but it's just nice for a little bit of change. Yeah, I suppose probably a bit sorer than I normally am.
It's nice to bring the cars back to their natural habitat, you got to say.
Yeah, it's nice. Probably just a challenge as well. Just something different during the week to look forward to, and sort of, I suppose, waste some time practicing on rather than just knowing you just got to turn left and go flat out.
That's it. I mean, it's a very different challenge indeed. I mean, it's more traditional, of course, but we got a lot of oval specialists in the league, of course, and a lot of guys that are very good on the ovals. But the road side of things, there are no slouches on either, and I think that was shown tonight.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't third fastest out there, that's for sure. So, yeah, the aim of our night was to keep it on the black stuff, because noticed when you get onto the grass, you lost about 15, 20 seconds. You couldn't regain it whatsoever. It just was like you're out on the wet. So, yeah, there was a few boys obviously had a few hiccups at the start and during the race. So, yeah, sort of took those positions as I could get them. But, yeah, Craig was way too quick. Tom, same thing. Andy was probably quicker than me, just got balked towards the end. And, yeah, I reckon there's a few other boys as well there that had the speed on me.
Well, I wouldn't say it's yourself too short, because we saw you pulling off some fantastic overtakes out here tonight.
Yeah, there's a few me getting overtaken too. So, yeah, no, it was a good race. It's nice to keep it clean and finish on the podium. But yeah, obviously championship wise as well, there's certain blokes you're racing and they didn't have quite as good night. So, yeah, always helps.
Absolutely. Look, does this build up the confidence for Watkins Glen and Spa coming up for yourself?
Watkins Glen can go in the bin. Not interested in that one. Spa, yeah, Spa. So done a few GT races and all that sort of stuff on that. So not sure how it'll go here, but at least confident with the track. Yeah, so we'll just see how it goes. I'm sure there'll be a few other boys that have been watching this and jump in, and they'll be 2 seconds quicker than me. That's for sure.
It's always the trouble, isn't it? That when there's somebody's quicker than you, you've got to shake your fist. But tonight, you may not have felt the quicker car out there, but you absolutely did a great job keeping it in the right position, keeping it in the right place, and getting yourself home in third. Well done indeed, Justin. Before I let you go, though, the usual thing, the love, the shout-out, sponsors, people, go for it, mate.
Yeah, just the boys at Pinnacle, Raymond, Nige, Greg, and Matt. Our sponsors, RKJ Web Services, My Private Cellar, and Whitcher Electrix. Who else? It's just the league sponsors. So I think it's United Electrical Solutions, Hot Toddys, My Private Cellar as well. And yeah, you guys again, like I always say, do a great job. Sure, I'll be watching this one back because I'm on the podium. So I'm sure it was a great call. And yeah, thanks for doing every Sunday night.
Oh, look, always welcome, mate. I hope you enjoy watching it back. We didn't see it too much on the cameras, but the bits we had were great overtakes. So enjoy that when it comes. Well done for tonight. I'm sure we'll see you back here soon.
Cheers, boys.
Justin Whitcher there for Pinnacle, coming home in third place tonight. Next up for the Southern Stars, it is the 91 of Tom Pritchard. Tom, welcome to the booth, mate. Congratulations on P2 here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Carl. Yeah, that was good fun. It was. It's nice to be up on the podium. I haven't been up here for a while, so yeah, nice to be here.
Exactly. It's always a nice feeling getting on the podium. It's even nicer when you've done it with some absolutely brilliant pace and on a track that, well, we're used to the ovals here in the Australasian Supercar eSeries, so a bit of a novelty coming to the stomping grounds of these cars here at Phillip Island. But you absolutely had some pace underneath you tonight.
Yeah, we did a fair bit of, did a couple of nights. It's amazing what a couple of nights of practice does during the week. It always helps. And yeah, so we thought we'd be fairly strong. I mean, I've done a few laps around here in these cars, so I was relatively confident. But yeah, it was certainly nice to be able to come home in second. That's for sure. I didn't quite know whether I'd be able to hold on to the tyres, but I think everyone was in the same boat in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked pretty treacherous out there, but the rears looked like they were really taking a bit of a bashing, and the car didn't look quite as stable, especially towards the end of those stints.
Yeah, when I came out of the pits for that first stop and I took the tyres, I obviously got undercut by both Andy and Justin, And I was a little bit worried, but I thought, right at that moment when I had the fresh tyres, I really needed to push hard to get past Justin, especially because, really when they're fresh, that's when you've got the bite in that first lap or two. So, which luckily I was able to do. I got down there through the last corner in turn 1, which I was happy with. And then, just kept on motoring on as hard as I could and just held onto those tyres as well as I could. And I think everyone was then in the same boat.
No, absolutely. It was a really good job of holding on to it and making those overtakes as well. We saw some really good moves out there tonight. Obviously, it's its natural habitat, this car on the circuit like Phillip Island. How do you prefer to race this car on this style of track, or do you really hunger getting back to the ovals?
Well, I mean, I love the oval racing, especially the big kind of super speedway racing. It's one of my favourite things to do. But in terms of road racing, I do love these cars around tracks like this. So I'm looking forward to some of the other road circuits. It's a totally different style of racing. So it's it is very much a different thing. You driving these cars around on this circuit for this championship. But I think it's a nice little. It's a nice change up, and it keeps things fresh, and it will be interesting as this season pans on how we go at I think there's Watkins Glen and Spa coming up as well.
Absolutely, yeah, it's going to be a very different challenge, these cars on some very different tracks.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought the racing out there tonight was pretty good. There was definitely some competitive guys. I actually was expecting a smaller field than what we ended up having. So it was very cool to see a fairly big grid out there. So hopefully that continues on for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Look, fingers crossed it continues on and we get to see some more great racing. Obviously, tonight, a really nice job as well for the team. Obviously, not such a good night for Darren McKenzie. It looks like he had an issue, but 2 of the cars up inside the top 10 tonight. That's always a nice feeling.
Yeah, and obviously really important for team points and stuff. So our goal tonight was to really make sure we capitalise on points. We didn't think we would be the fastest out there, and certainly Craig was definitely quite a bit faster than me. So, I was happy with being able to consolidate the second spot, and I think Andy got home in fourth, although I think he was a little bit upset. He wanted to get on that podium as well, and he certainly was driving well. So. I think must have been a bit of a slower last stop there. I had obviously took a later stop and therefore was able to take that short stop at the end for the refill and was able to get out in front of both Justin and him. So all good all round, and looking forward to the next one.
Look, fingers crossed we're going to see you back in the booth. Hopefully, it won't be so much time between stints, Tom. Well done tonight. And before I let you go, the usual thing, the love, a shout out to fans, sponsors, people in general. Go for it, mate. You absolutely deserve it.
All one of my fans. Definitely thank to them. But Mish's Excel Garage. Thanks to the guys at Southern Stars. I mean, that we all love our racing and really appreciate their support and help as we go through these championships. And thanks to you guys as well for putting on the broadcast, and also all the guys over at Australasian who put this series on. It's been fantastic.
Absolutely. A pleasure to have you up here in the booth, mate. And I'm sure we'll see you back, hopefully, in the near future. Look, have a great night tonight and well done on second.
Thanks, Carl. See ya.
Tom Pritchard there for Southern Stars, coming home second tonight. And finally tonight for Rogue Sim Sports. It's been a good 2 races in a row for Rogue Sim Sports, taking out victory in, well, the 2 races they've competed in as well. It is Craig Roffey joining us up here for victory at Phillip Island. Craig, welcome back to the booth, mate. Congratulations on the win here at Phillip Island.
G'day guys, it's good to be back up here. It's been a while, but 2 rogue wins in a row, so happy with that one.
Absolutely. It's been a good couple of weeks for you guys, but look, Phillip Island, it's sort of a more traditional stomping ground for yourself for this car and this package, and you absolutely took advantage of that tonight.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I've done a bit of V8 road racing in the past, so I knew I was reasonably confident, and I was looking forward to seeing if these oval guys know how to turn right. But yeah, no, it was really good. Enjoyed it, and come away with maximum points. So yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. Look, it's always nice when you can come home with maximum points and the nice little bit of gold wear as well for that top step of the podium. You absolutely look like a bit of a lonely race out there tonight for yourself. You sort of pulled away and then just sat yourself a good couple of seconds up at the front and didn't really see anybody for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a lonely race, as it always is at the front. I just tried to get in front and just hold a, I don't know, 4 second, 3 second gap, just in case the guys behind me were fuel saving or whatever. So I just had that little bit of leeway for myself to either back off, save some fuel, or push harder and get some more time up my sleeve.
Well, we saw you doing a little bit of a push. I think it was during that second stint. The second stint, getting the fastest lap as well. It's a clean streak, clean sweep tonight as well, which is even nicer as well.
Yeah, it's always good. Like I said, maximum points. It's good. So help out because I missed the first round. I'm looking forward to the next 2 road tracks as well.
Absolutely. That was my next question. I mean, Watkins Glen, very different style of circuit, and then Spa. These cars, not their natural stomping grounds, but tracks that should suit them pretty well. I imagine they should be pretty fun out there.
Yeah, I've done Spa a fair bit, GTs and all that. Watkins Glen, not so much. I raced there a couple of weeks ago in another league in the Xfinities, and come away with a win in that. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's with the boot or without the boot. I'm not sure.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah. Either way,
yeah.
looking forward to it. So should be good. Hopefully clean racing and hopefully get another win.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, keeping up this streak, it will be good news, and as well as decent night for the team as well. We saw Shane Roffey up there in P9, so 2 cars up inside the top 10, and again, it's some good points for the team's championship.
Yeah, definitely. Just say thanks to Shane for popping in. Rick or Richie, as you know him, he's done something to his shoulder or something, and he couldn't race. So asked Shane to pop in, and he got a top 10 for us. So cheers.
Oh, well, look, speedy recovery to Rich Trinko. Hopefully, we'll see him back in victory lane as well in the near future. So hopefully that is a speedy recovery and he can be back out on track soon. But off to the ovals again next. And look, how are you feeling getting back on the round and round circuits?
Yeah, I love any track. I just want to try and take this. I just keep attracting damage. I just want to try and stay clean and get to the front, I guess.
Well, fingers crossed it can go well and you'll manage to keep yourself out of trouble at Atlanta next time out. Look, congratulations tonight, Craig. Well done indeed. The usual thing now, the love, the shout out to all the fans. I would say sponsors, but we need to get some for that car because you keep getting that team into victory lane. Somebody needs to throw something on there.
Yeah, we do need some sponsors. If you can put a good word out for us on your other leagues, that'll be much appreciated. Just to say thanks to the Rogue Boys, like Shane jumping in. He didn't have to, but he did. So thank him for that. Kim got a top 15. He's doesn't do a lot of V8s, so that's a big accomplishment for him. You guys for the broadcast, top job every week. Always watch it back on Monday, Tuesday at work or whatever. And lastly, the league organisers, they just do an awesome job, and everyone for turning up. Wouldn't be able to race without races. So cheers.
Absolutely. Look, always great to hear, Craig. Always a pleasure to have you in the booth, mate. Congratulations on the victory here tonight. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing you back up here in the very near future, mate.
Too easy. Thanks, mate.
Craig Roffey there for Rogue Sim Sports, taking out the win here. And you got to say, Mark, he's probably the odds-on favourite heading to the Glen and Spa as well.
Yeah, definitely. I just went and looked at the schedule, and all it's got is Watkins Glen Road. So it's going to be a mystery until we get there. I think whether it's with the boot or the old NASCAR track.
Absolutely. Whichever one it is, though, it will be fantastic. I mean, we've had some downers on Watkins Glen. Mark, we got to do some roughing up, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I mean to say that is one track I do love where you turn right.
Absolutely. We look forward to getting to that one. But we are, as I said, at Atlanta next time out, back to the ovals. So we hope you can join us here next Sunday for that. Of course, we have more action coming up for you in the week because, well, it's back with the ANSCAR Cup on Thursday night. Where we are racing from Kansas, of course, and we look forward to seeing you there, of course, on Thursday night. And well, for the first time in the Australasian Supercar eSeries, I think this was a big success here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, not so good for the Holdens that turned up tonight. As you can see there, 1 through the 7th were those funny little horse things. So let's see if we can get a Holden win up on the board soon.
Absolutely. It'd be nice to see the Lion getting the victory and resurrecting the beast and getting a win for it would be fantastic stuff. Look, from all of us here at Performance eStreaming, we're going to wish you a very good night. From myself, Mr. Carl Wilkinson, with you, of course, Mark Johansson and Matt Hunter. We'll wish you a fantastic night and we'll see you back here soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.